How you guys doing? We're here on the Mac desktop with Final Cut Pro 10 opened up. I've discovered a couple of things. For instance, if you use a regular computer monitor or something like that to edit your video, and you don't necessarily need a broadcast monitor, then you may use just another computer monitor just for the output. I guess uses a separate reference monitor. But if you want to use broadcast out from Final Cut Pro 10 into or through a separate I/O card, such as the Blackmagic Intensity Pro or other monitor cards, something like that, into an actual reference broadcast monitor, then there's a way to do it. And I've kind of stumbled onto this. So just to show you, normally when you would open it up into preferences, and we'll go here, and the AV output, now when I first started, this was not even showing up, and now that I engaged it, it's now showing up, the Blackmagic Intensity Pro. So to activate that within preferences, you have to go to Window, and then you would select AV output, and just to show you, it's marked AV output now, and then you would go into preferences in Final Cut Pro 10, and you look to the AV output, and then it's your capture card or whatever device you're outputting from Final Cut Pro 10 through your capture card or other I/O device out to your reference monitor. Now it should be showing up right here, whatever you have enabled. Now, as you see here, it's showing 720p, which is not even HD quality. It's a 720 by what is that, 8 or 486 at 30 frames a second. Now you're going to have to change this probably at least to get to the resolution you want, and to me, if you're going to be doing at least 1080p HD or even 720p HD, you're going to have to change that. So we're going to go to preferences, and then your Blackmagic desktop video, and we're going to bring that up on mine. And so they do have, at least in Intensity Pro desktop video, you do have a section for Final Cut Pro 10, which is right here. Now the input we're going to have to leave the same, because that's what's showing up when to be able to show up the input, so I have to leave it at this setting right here. I can't necessarily change it to 1080p or whatever, because this is the input from the capture card and also my Canon C100. But really, this is all you really need to do is go into the Final Cut Pro 10 section, and then we're gonna change this to in my instance should be 1080p 2997, or possibly even no, actually this is 30 frames per second, excuse me. It should be 1080p 23.98, because we're trying to get 24 frames a second or 24 frames per second as well, one of the two. We're simply going to choose this one right here, and then pixel format, which is great because it's 8-bit 422, which is the output from my Canon C100 HDMI into the capture card. In this case, the Blackmagic Intensity Pro. We're going to save that just right here. We're going to close that out, and then we're going to restart Final Cut Pro 10. We'll be right back, so hold on. Okay, we just restarted Final Cut Pro 10, and once we did that, we'll go back to the preference section, playback, which I believe, playback section. As you can see right here now, Blackmagic Intensity Pro is at 1080p HD, which is of course 1920 by 1080, and we're at 23.98, which is essentially 24p frames a second. So it's very interesting to see. I don't necessarily have a reference monitor really output to a separate device, but for you guys that do, this is how you enable it and get it to run, and it might be very useful for you. So thank you for watching, and see you guys later.